Howdy, 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 my beautiful Sagittarius. How you doing, darling? My name is SimplyVelca, and today, honey, I'm going to be getting into your you versus them tarot reading, Sagittarius. So this could be dealing with someone that's in a romantical sense, someone that's just a friendship, darling, twin flame, soulmate, all that's, darling. It's up to you to add the labels, because I am just a man reading some tarot cards. You, Sagittarius, you know your situation better. Excuse me. I also do your weekly general tarot reading as well, Sagittarius, every single Tuesday, so be sure to check that out as well if you would like. And also, if you enjoy this tarot reading today, or you just enjoy my vibe here, Sagittarius, it would be cool if I did an effect right there, but too lazy. I would really appreciate it if you were to give this video a like and subscribe, Sagittarius, because it does help me out a lot, and I always appreciate it when you guys take that extra step to support me in that way. Also, though, keep in mind, I am a man just reading some tarot cards to you, Sagittarius. You know your situation better. You know what it is you can handle, and like more so about the emotional situation between you and this person, darling, right? Tarot cards are never going to be able to capture everything and all the nuances between that interaction with you. So regardless of whatever decision you end up making when it comes to this connection, Sagittarius, I'm always just going to be that ride or die friend, darling, that's always going to support you in whatever decisions, darling, that you end up making. So let's jump into this tarot reading, see how it is you're feeling, how this person's feeling, and just go from there, darling, Sagittarius. Remember, if you want to book a tarot reading with me, my website's always linked down below, SimplyVelca.com, darling. So let's get into this now, Sagittarius, and see how you are at, where you are at with this Temperance card. So I do see you guys being pretty patient with this, but this also could come in as a side message here to Sagittarius, where, you might be patient with this, but at the same time, you are considering your other options. You are on some level kind of checked out from this. You have one foot in where it's just like you see the potential in this still, Sagittarius, but at the same time, you're not really keeping your hopes up in regards to this connection, just because, maybe some of you Sagittarius, you've been patient with this connection for just quite a long time now, Sagittarius. So yeah, it's interesting here. Let's see on their side. The World card coming in here. So the World card in this dynamic, admittedly, Sagittarius, is the most vague card that we could be getting, y'all, when it comes to this, Sagittarius, because this is a sense of where it's just like the World card talks about cycles. So it's just like, it's like they're left with this final decision of being like, all right, do I take this situation serious with Sagittarius, or do I choose to walk away from this? How, they're at a very pivotal point right now, Sagittarius, when it comes to this connection of like how serious they want to take this, how, like, where do they want to put this on their priority list, if that makes sense. So I want to be surprised, Sagittarius, if you guys aren't really talking right now at this point in time. It does just feel as if, Sagittarius, where it's just like, you have to consider, it's like on one hand, they do want to commit to this. They have this desire where they're just like, this could be good. This could be worth something, right? But at the same time, their heart's not completely set on this connection here, darling. So where does that leave you? How does that have you feeling, darling, right? So let's do the connection between y'all two. Seven of Pentacles. So you guys have been working on this for quite some time. Y'all probably have some history here, Sagittarius, but nothing ever too committed, I would say, Sagittarius. Nothing too committed. Maybe you guys started out as like friends at first and then developed to something deeper potentially, or trying to. It just feels as if, like, Sagittarius, when you guys first started connecting, it just wasn't all that, like, there's like this acknowledgement, eye contact, being like, ooh, I like this. But at the same time, it just feels as if like something that has had to develop. It wasn't like you guys were starting out as like best of friends, darling, deep connection, rainbows and sunshine and sprinkles, darling. So let's see the main issue when it comes to this connection. King of Cups here, darling, and this was in the reverse. So Sagittarius, the main issue when it comes to this connection is just really it's almost as if both of you guys, I need to almost pull another card for this, but I'm kind of suspecting, Sagittarius, both of you guys really are at this place of where the emotions are the issue, which is interesting. Two of Wands. So it's almost as if neither of you guys are quite sure. I don't know if you guys are dealing with like commitment issues here, Sagittarius, or just like neither of you guys are just quite sure if this person is meant for the long haul, if this person's gonna if you really see a future with this person going anywhere, really. So it's very interesting. It's almost as if you both can kind of relate on one hand on being like, I don't like, it's like on paper this sounds good, maybe on one hand, Sagittarius, like, it's giving me very much so actually, where it's like you have big goals and dreams, right? You want to get a house if you don't already have one. You want to have kids. You want to build up big things, darling, right? And maybe on their side of things, they're not quite sure if they're ready for that, right? That is kind of the sense that I'm getting. Like, I feel as if I'd be willing to bet Sagittarius, and maybe this is just my own bias, where it's just like on your side, you're ready for something more committed, more serious, and on their side, they don't know quite yet if they're ready for that phase of their life, right? So let me stop speaking out of pockets, darling, and let's see what clarifiers come in for you. Maybe it's going to be something completely different. Nine of Wands feels as if you have no interest in budging, and where it is like you're where you want to be. So again, like what it is that you want out of life. So you're not really interested in like, how would we say this, Sagittarius? You're not really interested in lowering your standards, Sagittarius. Thank you for those that said it. Knight of Pentacles coming in here with the Star card here as well. So I do see this sense where it's like, I feel like deep down, Sagittarius, like this person kind of would want the same things as you do. But at the same time, it's going to take a long time for them to get to that point, I feel. And it's interesting because I feel as if you've been playing the long game with this. And again, it's just speaking more so like there's just like a longer wait period with this connection. Like there still needs to be a lot of growth here. It's definitely working into the right direction, but it just may not be happening at the pace that you would like it to be at. And so that might be just extremely frustrating for you, which I entirely get. But at the same time, I feel as if you don't, like, one, obviously no one needs to lower their stance. If you know what it is that you want, darling, then you know what it is that you want, and you choosing to lower that standard is just going to do nothing but cause resentment, right? But I don't feel as if your standards are like an issue here. Let's see what's going on with them, in more detail with them, Sagittarius. Full card coming in here. So I do actually see them getting to the point of where they're just like, all right, well, I'm ready to jump into this new thing, right? So keep in mind, Sagittarius, this person before you come along, maybe they weren't used to having any type of connection that was ever worthy of you and being considered something that would be worthy of being long-term, Sagittarius, something that just wasn't worth that. Like, I feel as if you're something just completely new for them. Like, they can't figure you out, and they have nothing to reference from the past to be like, you know, it's like as if they're starting from square zero where you're already at like a much higher point, right? It's like you already know a lot more about yourself. Maybe you might be the one that's a little bit older, or at the very least, you would be the one that I feel like if we were to put you two in a room, most people would identify you as the older soul, or like someone that just has experienced a lot more life compared to the other person, Sagittarius. We have the Judgment card here. So, man, Sagittarius. And then the Nine of Pentacles here. So I do see them taking action eventually towards this. And I actually find this quite admirable, Sagittarius, because it's like both with that Judgment card and that Fool card, that speaks volumes in terms of just like how much of a chance they actually take with this with you, should they actually not like go to their maximum potential, right? To actually choose to really lean into this, right? Because they still have to take that leap of faith, but that is like the scariest part for them, or like the biggest hurdle that they do need to overcome. Most of them, I get a strong sense about like 70% of Sagittarius's person here are going to overcome this, but it is something, it's not without a lot of work on their end. So it does make sense as to why patience seems to be the resounding theme here, Sagittarius, is because of just like how much this person here, Sagittarius, needs to grow, figure themselves out. And it feels like they have to experience it at a very fast pace. And once they figure it out, then they're going to be like, I don't want this to come off as bad, Sagittarius, because I know that this might turn off some people and be like, well, if they're just this nervous, darling, then I don't want this, right? But it's actually just like, they're willing to just jump off this cliff, right? They're willing to take that leap of faith, which is what the Fool represents, because it's like they know deep down that this is what it is that they want. It just is insanely intimidating for them, Sagittarius. You may even, just the idea of being with you might extremely intimidate them as well, just because of who you are as a person, right? So just keep that in mind. Again, I'm not excusing whatever's been happening, what has been going on between the two of y'all, darling. That's y'all's business, darling. I'm just seeing this from a place of being like, all right, like I see that, you know, they're doing their best, I feel. they're doing their best, or at the very least they think they're doing their best, and it's just like it's not something that's going to just happen overnight. Naturally, that's why we have the Seven of Pentacles here, darling, because it's like it's the card of crops, darling. When you plant those crops, when you plant those seeds, you don't expect to come home the very next day or even next week, darling, or even a month from now and expect to see ripe vegetables and fruits and what have you, darling, right? You plant those seeds with the intent on like tending to this for a long time and knowing that the end goal, the harvest, is going to be worth it, right? So let's get some best case scenario cards when it comes to this connection, should you choose to stay. Sagittarius, you guys got the Libra card. You guys also have been getting Libra, just like Leo. So especially during Libra season, darling. So definitely I feel as if it's going to pay off. Three of Pentacles here. And then we have here the Page of Swords. So best case scenario with this, it's kind of just like playing the waiting game with this, Sagittarius, waiting for the right moment to actually take action towards this and to really start taking it to the next level. I feel as if this connection is definitely worthy of your time and energy should you choose to invest in this, Sagittarius, but at the same time, it's something that you have to be really prepared to put in the work, put in the patience with it. And also just keep in mind, I'm not sitting here pretending like promising rainbows and sunshines with this connection, because the ball still requires for them to get to the point of being able to take that leap of faith. I feel like many of them are going to, Sagittarius, but we are expecting a lot out of them here, Sagittarius, to get to that point. So then it just gets to the question of being like, is this person worth that weight? Is that person worth all this patience that you are exuding with this, right? How badly do you care about those crops to really put in the work, right? It's one of those things, just like, how much do you actually like guacamole, darling? How much do you like avocado, to plant your own avocado trees and wait for it to grow, right? Think about it like that. You know, it doesn't make the avocados, doesn't make guacamole bad or anything like that, darling, but sometimes it's just easier, darling, just to go to a grocery store and just get you some avocados, you know? But at the same time, you sacrifice the promising venture of, you know, what you would get from planting. You know, it goes into, we don't need to get all philosophical with some avocado seeds, darling. I feel like you get the point, Sagittarius. So let's get some advice from your spirit guides. This card wanted to come out. Death card coming in here, girl. The Eight of Cups coming in here. Ooh, your spirit guides and ancestors, Sagittarius, don't got that time when it comes to this person. Queen of Wands. Oh my goodness. So this is a very polarizing message here, Sagittarius, where it's just like, you know, I see the potential in this. I see this like in the very, very long term, right? When you plant avocado seeds, I think it takes like 20 years before you actually can expect avocados. And I'm not saying it's going to take 20 years for this connection to get to a point where it's going to be fruitful for you, but it is definitely going to be a while, darling. And so with this setup, your spirit guides are quite literally telling you to exude more of that your energy, Sagittarius, the Queen of Wands energy, and kind of just go with what feels right to you. So there's no right or wrong decision in this, as long as you are, you know, as that corny saying goes, leading with your heart, darling, going with what drives you, darling. Excuse me. Hopefully that didn't catch on the mic. That was gross. It's a sense of where many of you guys, I feel as if this is kind of a message. I mean, admittedly, I do feel like many of you guys, this is a message of just like detaching from this and be like, you know what, you know, you figure yourself out here over here, darling, but you know, your life goes on. You have to continue living your life, and maybe sometime down the road, because just because you don't choose to feed energy into this right now doesn't mean like a year from now, 6 months from now, what have you, like you guys can't pick back up and be like, all right, well, now that we both have lived some life, darling, and what have you, we can figure things out, right? I just don't feel like you need to I just don't want this to come off, Sagittarius, as a sense of being like it's a now or never thing. So I don't feel like it's going to be that case for many of you guys. So let's get some insight from Oracle. Luck is on your side. Your new moon in Sagittarius. Come on now. Luck is definitely on your side, Sagittarius. Things are definitely working out in your favor. So don't be afraid of taking action again. Let's get into, where's my other deck? Here we go. Found it. Let's get into this animal oracle card before I close out y'all's reading here, Sagittarius. Let's see here. We have the manatee card. Girl, accept the situation as it is rather than fighting to change it. So you can't change this connection whatsoever. You can't change how things are going to be going, Sagittarius. And so however that situation looks like for you, is this, accept that you can't change the situation. And with you accepting that you can't change the situation, Sagittarius, are you still in the same mindset of being able to be like, you know what, I'm going to wait this out. I'm going to, this person's my person, what have you. There is no right answer, Sagittarius, right? So definitely let me know what it is that you end up choosing with this connection, because as I said before, I'm going to be sitting here riding. I'm that ride or die friend. I'm just like, all right, we're going to do this, Sagittarius. You have my full support. We're going to do what it is that's best for you, darling. But yeah, Sagittarius, I hope I can see you some Tuesday, darling, with your weekly general reading. Remember, if you want to book a private personal reading with me, Sagittarius, my website's always linked down below, SimplyVelca.com. Next to my social medias, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all that, to just being SimplyVelca, honey. I'm going to do another tongue pop because that wasn't satisfying. There we go. And so, Sagittarius, I love you so much, and I wish you so much luck when it comes to this connection. Bye.